Hey guys, today trying out something different today. I'm going to do a hazy pale ale. I've got some grains in here. I've got some oats, I've got some carapils, and I've got a little bit of wheat in there as well. So hopefully that's the right combination of what I need. They're all the specialties, and what I'm hoping to get, I'm actually using this real ale can. So I've actually used less grains. I've added some more wheat and the oats just to give it a bit more of a creamy and I guess a hazy appearance. And then I'll add the real ale in at the end just to get that body and build up the ABV. All right, so I've got my water here. We'll get this thing set up. So I've just got to check the temp of the water. This is actually a brew in a bag setup that I've got. So I used to brew on this for a while, and I haven't actually pulled it out in a bit. So I thought I'd give it another crack and see how I go. I'm usually brewing all grain, but today I'll do this partial mash and hopefully produce a delicious beer. All right, so I'm at 70.3, so that's good. I'm happy with the temp on that. Do my mash in now. So just pour it inside the little bag that I've got added there. Probably don't need to. No, I've got to dump it all in. I've gone a fair bit of water today too, so I've got about 10.5 to 11 litres in here, which is probably a bit in excess, but that's alright. I probably could have steeped it as well, where you just pour all the grains in a bag or in a bowl, sorry, and just let it sit in temperatured water, in 72-degree water or so. But this is alright. This is just a quick and easy little mash step. So basically just stir that up. Try and, well, the bag's tangling up. Getting near the lumpy bits out. Stir that in. Some dry bits there. It's actually pretty good using this thing again. I used to brew all my beers with this, and happy to say it made quite a couple of decent beers on it in its time. So that actually looks really light, and more of the oat flavour looks like it's all the oats made the colour that it's like a hazy, it's like wash paint water. Anyway, that's alright. I'll let that sit for a bit. And then I'll let that mash in, probably do it for about half an hour. Don't need to do a full hour mash, which will be alright. And then I'll crank the boil up. Alright, so that's been in there for 30 minutes now. And it should have infused pretty well. What I'm going to do is I might just chuck a quick mash out on it. So I'll turn the gas on. Just let that heat up for a little bit, check the temp, and then we'll let that, we get it up to about 75, 76, somewhere around there anyway, just over 70, and then I'll do a quick sparge with it as well. Alright, so we've hit our mash out temp. Might be a little high. Here we go. Yeah, so at 72. Well, that's dropping pretty quick, but yeah, we're at 72. Alright, so what I've got rigged up over here is I've actually cheated. I've got this bucket, and I've got the false bottom that I use in my Robo Brew. So I'll just tie that up. Normally I suspend it over the top of the pot. I'm just going to put it aside today. Just be careful with this too, because it gets a bit hot. So just to make things a bit easier for myself, I'll just shake it all out into one spot there. Get it all together. And I'm just going to chuck it on there. And and let it drain in. So it'll just sit there, drain into there, and we'll leave that, and once we're ready we'll just pour all this stuff back in there. I'll probably sparge it with a bit of water as well, which I'll go and grab that now, and I'll come back and do a sparge. Alright, so while the beer's coming to the boil, getting the wort to the boil, I'm just going to sparge with a little bit of water. Just a couple of litres just to wash out any excess wort that might be sitting on the grain, any extra sugars and proteins that I can grab out of it. So just do a quick sparge now, and then we'll pour this into the pot while it's getting ready for boil. So I'm only sparging with about maybe 4 litres. Alright, so that's heating up. I've got my excess wort here. Just going to top the brew up with that. So I'll bring that height right up. I'll just put the lid on just to help it bring that heat up a bit quicker. Now I know the colour looks a bit funny for a hazy sort of pale ale looking colour, but really hoping once this gets added in, it adds a bit of colour. I won't add this in during the boil because it's already pre-hopped and got some hops in it already. So if I boil that's actually going to make it quite bitter and won't be as tasty. So I'll wait till the wort cools down just a little bit. Once the boil's finished, I'll stir this through, and yeah, this should sort of add a bit more malty backbone and a bit of bitterness towards the end. I'm going to do one bittering hop addition during the boil, so I've got a little bit just here of Centennial, so we'll chuck that in at some point, about half an hour in I believe I've got it set for, so I'll check that and I'll confirm when I come back. And we have liftoff. We're boiling away nicely. Ooh, nice and hot. So I'm actually just using this little external ring burner, 2 rings. I just got this from Camping Shop VCF. You just hook it up to a gas bottle, hook it in, and nice and easy to go. So yeah, you just hook it up, fire it up, and she burns nice and hot. Good to you know, if you want to set it up outside, or you know, you want to move around doing different brew days. It's a good little thing. So yeah, I recommend getting one. It's always handy to have, even if you're just boiling up your sparge water. If you're using like a Robo Brew or some other vessel, it's just good to have. So yeah, couldn't recommend it enough. So we've been boiling now for 30 minutes, so I'm going to do the first hop addition. I've got 20 grams of Centennial, so I'm just going to chuck that in. Straight in there. Normally I'll put it in a bag, but I'll just chuck it straight in. It's only a small amount, so it's not going to hurt it. Plus when I chuck this into the fermenter, I'll end up being able to clear it down anyway, so that there's no hot matter in there. Yeah, just give that a quick little stir in. It'll be good for another 30 minutes. We'll come back and we'll add the can. The boil's finished now. Now I've just got a little bit of dextrose I wanted to add in, just to creep up that volume, alcohol volume. So I'll just sprinkle that in. This just helps it dissolve, so while it's hot you just add it in and it helps it dissolve a bit better. I think there's about half a kilo there. You can see the cloudiness of it already. So it should retain its cloudiness and its haziness, or if we want to say that. Alright, and then what I've done is I've got my fermenter ready. I've already sanitized it, and what I'll do is I'll actually add the hot wort into the fermenter now. Get it all in in there. Because rather than putting the malt can into the pot, it actually retains its heat. And sometimes I find it actually sticks to the bottom of the fry pan. Oh, sorry, the pot. What I've done with this is I've actually left it sitting in a bit of hot water. That just helps it sort of soften up a bit, because if you pull it out on a cold night like this, it'll actually be nice and solid. So just by letting it sit in a sink with a bit of warm water, it actually helps just dissolve it a bit better. Just scrape all that goodness out. Get a whole lot in there. It is quite sticky, so try and avoid getting it all over yourself and all over the fermenter. That should do it. Alright. I don't know if the camera can see that. Oops, getting a bit of steam on the camera there. That should be nicely mixed in. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is just top this up with a bit of water to 23 litres, and that'll finish my batch off. So this water's a bit cooler. It's not actually cold, but what I'll do is I'll just pour the cool water in, fill it up to my desired height, and then I'll actually just leave it in the fermenter maybe for another couple of hours tonight to cool down, and then I'll finish it off. There we go. I might have to just go get a bit more water, but that's that. That's the wort for the hazy pale. It does look actually a bit dark, so I might have to add a little bit more water than I'd hoped, but at least I'll get a bigger batch of beer. Just a little bit extra water. Actually does have quite a nice colour now that I've just added that little bit extra water. And that's it. I'm going to chuck it into my temp controlled fridge as well, so I'll get that, put it in there. That should help it sort of chill down a little bit quicker. And then I'll come back later on, check the temp, make sure it's down to the pitching temp, and then we're good to go with the yeast. Cheers. Alright, so I've had to let this rest overnight just in the temp control fridge. The temp was still a bit high last night when I went to bed, so I put it on, left it in here, and now it's down to about 18 degrees, which is good. So I'm just going to pitch the yeast. So I'm using a Cephale yeast US05. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. I did give it a little bit of a stir just to get all the stuff sitting on the bottom just mixed back through the beer, and then hopefully this yeast will sort of keep it active and control. All done. Thanks for watching. I'll come back. We'll make sure when I get this beer ready and give it a taste, I'll do another video and show you the results. Thanks. Cheers for watching.